This is the brand new 2022 Porsche 911 GTS, and guess what? This is the brand new 2022 Porsche 911 GTS, but one of these 992s is not like the other. And in this video, we're going to take this one for a ride first, then this one, and discuss the differences so you could figure out which one of these two is right for you. So I am behind the wheel of the brand new Porsche GTS. Now, for all of you non-Porsche types, it is actually the model designation, the 992. And before we get into what makes the GTS unique in the Porsche lineup, let's talk about the Porsche lineup. So there are, in fact, 5 models of 911, 21 different trim levels altogether, but 5 model lines. So it starts with a Carrera, which starts at about 100K. Then you go up to the S. Then you go up to the GTS, the Turbo, and the Turbo S. And this is the brand new 2020 GTS Carrera. Now, I am driving a 7-speed manual, which is, by the way, a no-cost option. And let's cut to the chase. I've got the Monroney right here. And this vehicle, as configured, is $178,440. So it's a lot for a 2-wheel drive sports car, but if you're deep into the Porsche world, this may be the sweet spot in the Porsche lineup. So obviously what Porsche brings to the table is one of the most iconic sports cars in the world. The 911 has been around forever, and there's been no such thing as a revolutionary new 911 model. It's always been evolutionary, and that's because, well, Porsche considers the layout of this vehicle to be perfect. And back there is a 3-liter twin turbo that produces just shy of 500 horsepower, and of course it's paired to the 7-speed manual. Do I like and enjoy rolling my own gears? Hell yeah, who wouldn't? If you're a car guy or car gal, there's nothing more satisfying than shifting for yourself. But let's face it, unless you're carving corners like I am right now, or you're stuck in traffic, or you're on the highway, the manual is not the better choice. It is, of course, the automatic. This car would be the car that I would choose if I wanted to track my Porsche. It's got the optional carbon seats, which, if I'm being honest, which I always am, are relatively, no, seriously uncomfortable. So I'd probably avoid these unless you're really seriously about tracking your Porsche. So in terms of competition, this car competes with vehicles obviously like the Mercedes GT line, perhaps the Audi R8, maybe a McLaren, even though McLaren's tend to be priced a little bit higher than the Porsches. But the Porsche 911 is unique in its layout, in its heritage, and of course in its ability to put a huge smile on your face. Now, under the hood, and I show it to you, but you'd have to go to a Porsche dealer to actually see it because, well, it's deep down in there, is a 3-liter twin turbo that produces 473 horsepower and 420 pound-foot of torque, which is, well, a lot more than a base Carrera 2. Now, under the hood, or is it trunk, of the Targa is the same 3-liter twin turbo. The biggest difference between the two isn't horsepower, but it's the fact that every Targa is only available in all-wheel drive. So by now you've probably realized that the red GTS is the purest 911. This is the one that if you're looking for a track-focused machine, you probably want. But what about the other one? What makes that unique? Well, only one way to find out, and that is to take it for a ride. All right, now behind the wheel of the Targa. That's the white one. The center lug wheels, you know, all the stuff that makes for a true performance car. But for me, I'm not a Porsche fan, but I do love fast cars. This car has a lot more bandwidth because, let's face it, I don't spend a lot of time carving canyons, but I do spend a lot of time in traffic and just putting around town on a nice Sunday drive. And this one is much more comfortable and much more expensive. It still holds the road like, well, no other car outside of maybe a Corvette. So yeah, it's 400 pounds heavier, and it costs $197,000, which is $30,000 more than the true performance car. But you know what? I don't care. I'm having just as much fun as that red one that's chasing me around these corners. I love the fact that I can drive this year-round. It's all-wheel drive, which makes it a little bit more neutral around these bends. Yes, heavier, but also much more capable. And when you're in Colorado and it starts to get snowy, this is the one you're going to want to be behind the wheel of. And from a 0 to 60 perspective, ironically, this one is actually quicker. It's just under a second quicker because the PDK transmission does such a better job of actually shifting than B7. So yeah, I think this is definitely the one to get for me. They're both really incredible cars, and they both put a huge smile on my face. And I would say that it's a choice between really great or great. Now, if it were my money and I were 30 years younger, I'd go for the red one. The more purest of the GTSs, the one that is manual, the one that is rear-wheel drive, the one that will scare you much quicker than this one. But since I'm not 30 years younger and since I'm old and getting fat, I gotta say I like this one better because it's much more comfortable. Plus my wife won't yell at me because the seat is rock hard. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Check out TFLcar.com for more news, views, and of course, a tale of two Porsche reviews. See you guys next time. Ciao.